Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to video number 4 of the 5-day Amazon Ad Profit Challenge, sponsored by Amazon Ad School. I'm Brian Cohen. If you're watching this right when it came out, then welcome back from the weekend. We have 2 more videos for you in the challenge, and today it is all profit, all the time. We are talking about how to determine if your ads were profitable, the ones that you ran during this experiment of the challenge. So I can't wait to share with you the best way to figure that out. As a reminder, this Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, we have the How to Scale Up Your Amazon Ads slash the recap party and challenge final day webinar. It's really long. You can go check that out. You should already be registered for it if you're getting the emails. That will be Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Enough with the small talk. Let's get into today's video. Welcome to video number 4 of the Amazon Ad Profit Challenge. This one is called How to Master Profit and Write the Ultimate Copywriting Cliffhanger. So it is time at long last to check the numbers. We've had these new ads kind of in the oven for a week or so now, and now it is time to see in this kind of limited window, because it's just 1 week's time. It's not the end all be all, but it is what happened in this week, how our profit has turned out. This is where I really want to emphasize that it isn't about it isn't about guessing. It isn't about feeling. This is why we focus on profit. I see too many authors saying, I feel like this page needs work, but really it's about the data. We have real numbers. We've gathered them over the last week. We actually know what they mean now, and so we can check them. Our data is going to tell us a story. It is going to tell us what we're supposed to do next based on the numbers, not on feeling, not on gut, because sometimes gut can be a little too risk averse, but we are going to use the numbers. Now, the most important stat is profit. If you spent $5 on ads and you made $10 in royalties, that is a profit because the royalties are higher than the ad spend. You are headed in the right direction if that is what you've got. Now, if you spent more than you earned, yes, you had a loss if those numbers were reversed. You spent $10 and you earned $5. During that short span, you had a loss. Now, what is essential? It's not essential that you got a profit this week. What is essential is you get the data. You analyze it. You say, all right, based on my profit or my loss, what do I do next? And then you make an educated decision on what to do. Fortunately, you are getting education right now, and I will give you some insights on what I think the next step should be. Now, I want to remind you that even an Amazon rep and also a higher level customer service person said to ignore sales and orders, the stats that go into advertising cost of sale. So since that sales number, the number of sales, the gross sales that will show up on your ad dashboard, so if you sell an ebook at $3.99 and a paperback at $9.99, it mashes those all together. Because the sales number doesn't include all of the info, like Kindle Unlimited pages read, or the right info, it includes the gross sales instead of the net sales, or even some of the sales that came in from the ad due to the poor tracking, we're just going to concentrate on dollars and cents. We're going to see how much we spent in dollars on our ads, how much we earned on dollars on our KDP Beta Report dashboard. So here's what you're going to learn today. Step-by-step process for assessing profit. What you should do next, depending on how much you either lost or earned
you're going to also learn how to pair the new ads you create with a stellar cliffhanger that will leave your readers wanting to buy your book. You are also going to learn the systematic process you can use for the rest of your career to earn more money. That's a bold claim that I will be sharing that in this video, but I will be. Here's what you need: internet browser, spreadsheet or a text document, calculator. You can use the calculator on your phone. That's fine. Approximately 30. Lol, I still haven't gotten anything under 39, 41 minutes yet, but approximately 30 minutes to watch this video, 30 to 45 minutes to do the homework. Ultimate comparison. All that matters: what we spent and what we earned. This is profit. This is profit. And I'm going to kick ACOS down into a pit like it's the movie 300. I've talked to hundreds of authors who don't realize this. I mean, look at the group. There are a ton of authors in the group who didn't necessarily know this, and it's okay if you're one of them, because there hasn't necessarily been a lot of press. There hasn't been a lot of sharing about this. Is that what matters is the profit, and as a result of people not knowing this, authors have tended to turn off ads that might have actually been profitable. So before you assess anything else about your book, saying, oh, it needs a new cover, or, oh, my series doesn't work, I should stop this one and do a new one, we need to find and calculate the profit, because that is what to base all our decisions on. That is the umbrella under which every marketing choice, every book you write needs to be figured out if profit is your goal. And I know for a lot of us it is. So, as part of the prep work, you figured out your baseline. So you figured out, my book that I'm promoting earned this much this month. So it might have been $15, it might have been $100, it might have been $0, which is fine. If you did post $0, you weren't the only one. There were dozens of authors who were starting from the exact same spot. Now we have that week of ads under our belt. Now you can look at where your royalties are currently. So if you were at $0 and you're now at $2, that means your royalties were $2. So you're going to find this out on the KDP Beta dashboard. You're just going to look at this month, check the current monthly royalties for that book. Then you're going to take your now number, and obviously if you have another program like ReaderLinks or Book Report, you can do this pretty manually and select the dates. But since not everybody has those programs, I wanted to make it something you could do even if you don't have those programs. So take your now number, so in my example, $2, subtract your baseline number, 0 in that instance. 2 minus 0 equals 2. In this example I have here, let's say your now number, as of this date right here, is $25. You subtract the baseline number, it was $15 on April 13th. 25 minus 15 equals $10 in royalties during the challenge. That is the number we're looking for. Royalties for that book during the challenge. That's the number we want to find out first. And that is exactly what I said there. It's like I'm psychic or something. I have a fifth sense. So, unearthing ad spend. Next, you're going to see how much you spent on the ads. Now, this can get a little confusing because you want to make sure you're only looking at the ads you use to promote that one book. And I know some of you promoted more than one book during the challenge, so you are going to have to do a little extra heavy lifting here. So you go to your Amazon ad dashboard, set the correct dates for this event. So if you started with ads on April 13th, you'll say April 13th until today. Then you're going to make sure you're only showing campaigns for the book that you're promoting. So you could use your book's acronym I've showed the TVS for the viral superhero series. Whatever you used to show that this is an ad for this book, you can use that. Or if you used something like the portfolio feature, you can organize in that particular way. And then you're going to see, and I will show this during my screen share, of course, you will see ad spend at the top of the spreadsheet, and you'll see how much all the campaigns listed below spent. So it's possible they spent $7 or so, in which case you would say, all right, well, now my second number I'm collecting, after I collected the previous number of royalties during the challenge, this number you're collecting is how much you spent during the challenge. Now, if you ran other ads on the platform, I recommend factoring those in. I feel like it's going to give you a bad number if you say you earned $40 and you spent $2 on Amazon ads, but you also spent $25 on Facebook ads during that time. It's going to give you a bad number if you don't factor in everything. Now, most of you probably only spent money on Amazon, but in case you did other things, factor everything in order to get the best possible data. And now we do the which number is greater game. We do the find the royalties during the challenge, find the ad spend during the challenge, and see which number is bigger. If royalties are bigger, you earned a profit. And if you do that subtraction problem of royalties minus ad spend, you'll see how much you profited. If your ad spend is bigger, then you had a loss during the challenge. So if the money spent during the challenge is greater than the royalties during the challenge, you had a loss. And that's fine. It's not worth despairing over. We'll talk about what to do if that is the case. And if you do have a loss, you won't be the only one. Trust me. Now, if they're virtually the same, like there's like a cent difference or something, then you basically broke even. You spent as much as you earned. Now, things to keep in mind, especially if you did have a loss or you broke even and you're disappointed, you may need a bit more time, especially, and I just spoke with someone who hasn't been able to get a single impression, which is also normal. If your ads haven't served very much, you might need more time to get them to serve. If you're promoting a book one in a series, but you're at a loss, a magical thing can happen because people might go and read book 2 and book 3 and buy those next month, and that could factor in to your royalties that came from this very challenge. Because you could have an ad that's unprofitable, or you could have an ad that's break even right now, and when people go on to read the future books, you could earn more money. Now, we're going to talk more about read through during the Tuesday webinar, the How to Scale Up Your Amazon Ads webinar on Tuesday. So stay tuned for that. But if you didn't turn a profit or you are nowhere close, this is not the time to lose hope. And I will show you the screen share here, and I'll explain how your results should dictate what you do next, the next choice. Now, the reason we advertise first in series, why I said if you have a series, advertise book 1, you factor in those other book sales, you can make more money. I mean, someone could buy book 1 and then 2 months later buy book 2. We can't really control that. And as a result, ads that seem to be losing money could earn great profit. There are authors who price book 1 free or at 99 cents, where they'll only earn 35 cents for a sale of just that book, who can earn up to $20 or more when they factor in the read-through, so it makes sense for them to lose money on that first one. That's kind of, it's like it's the worst kept secret, because a lot of authors talk about this. They have these long series, they can bid decently high, higher than 30 or 35 cents, because they know they're going to make a ton of profit later on. So it looks like a loss. It'll look like they spent $10 and made $2. But when those readers go back to buy the future books, they actually end up making $50 or something like that. So we have to keep that in mind for the future. And like I said, we will talk more about read-through during the Tuesday webinar. Now, I wanted to also note Kindle Unlimited. When a reader borrows a book on KU, you don't get paid. Not right away, at least. And not if they ever, if they don't ever read the book. You don't get paid until they start reading it. In fact, I believe you don't get paid until they've read at least 10% of the book, if memory serves me correctly. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I've already been corrected when I'm wrong a couple of times during this challenge. But you're not going to get paid until they start reading it. But you do see an increase in your book's sales rank right away. Now, if you've never looked up your book's sales rank over the last couple months, you can do so at Author Central. This is a tip that Caleb Fast, which is a great name, made me remember during the January challenge. But if you are not seeing sales, but you are seeing an increase in sales rank, it probably means that people have gone and borrowed your book. So if your book is exclusive through KDP Select, it's worth checking Author Central to see if your sales rank improved. So it'll go up in the graph, but lower in the number. So if your sales rank has been around 50,000, but then you see during the week of the challenge, it's been at more like 20,000, you might have some pages read that are going to trickle in over the next couple of weeks. It's not a guarantee, certainly, but you might. And so if you factor this in, if you see, oh, I'm at a loss, but my sales rank is really good these last few days, that could mean next week or the week after, you're going to see a bump in your earnings. And instead of the past where you might have said, oh, I don't know where that bump came from, now you can. Now you can correlate. Wow, my sales rank went up 2 weeks ago. It means people must have borrowed my book. The fun term for that is ghost borrows. I really like that term. But some people borrowed my book, and then 2 weeks later, I saw this spike in pages read. They must have started reading it. So those ads did help my book. And making that realization could be the difference between loss and profit in the future. So can you show me the money? Oh, it would be my absolute pleasure. So let's go to the dashboard first. I'm going to show you with a book on Kindle, not in Kindle Unlimited first, followed by a book that is in Kindle Unlimited. So as you'll recall, we have this ability here to deselect all of our books and just pick one. So I'm going to pick Sizzling Synopsis. And we see how much it earned this month. But we can also just see how much it earned throughout the week. Now I'm going to use another tool to cheat a little bit in a second here, just because I didn't do the homework myself. Sorry. But we will, if you were to add up all these numbers, 968, 1451, 1393, 1971, 3237, and today's number so far of 930, you would get a number that I'm going to cheat. Now, if I had done the homework and been a good boy, I wouldn't have had to do this, but I am bringing up my book report in order to get the exact number so that I don't have to add everything up. You will just take the now number and you will subtract it. I am going to go in here and I am going to pick April 13th, 2020 through today, April 18th, 2020. And we will see Sizzling Synopsis in there, and I will scroll down and see the dollar amount. Sorry for cheating, but I see that my earnings since the challenge began were $100.03. I won't cheat over here, I promise. So we're on our ad dashboard here. And I know that my date range here, I want this to be. So you're going to choose date range. You're going to click the 13th through today. I'm recording this before today as you're watching it. So that is why my dates are slightly different. Now, this is why the acronym is very important. I know that all of my How to Write a Sizzling Synopsis books have the title Sizzling. Now, there's two places where you'll see the ad spend. You'll see it up here, and you will see it over here. Either way, it should be the same number, 1531 there, 1531 there. That's the spend. So we see that there, 1531. And we see the Brian cheated 100.3, so 0.03. So let's do that math problem. Don't worry, I'm going to have a pretty good loss probably on my other one. So let's say royalties during the challenge, 100.03. Now, if I were going to be doing that not cheating, I would take the 208.88 and I would subtract it. I would subtract all the sales that had come before that month in order to get the real number there. So it would have been, let's go over here. So it would have been around 108. So I would have subtracted 208.88 from 108, which is how much I'd earned from the 1st to the 12th. I almost called it the one-th of the month, to get that 100.03. So, sorry again for cheating. And then we go to the ad spend, which is just 1531. 1531. So we get out our trusty calculator. That's what it's called, right? A calculator. 100.03. Let me label this. Ad spend during the challenge. We'll say this is Sizzling Synopsis. Pull up that. 100.03 minus 1531 equals 84.72. 84.72, and I'll make this a little bigger. And that is our profit or loss during the challenge. So I would look at that and say, hey, I profited. Now, I have a feeling that telling so many people about this event probably put my name out there and got me more sales than usual. I don't think I got 37 sales just off of my 33 clicks. And this is why, if you are running other ads or doing other promotions, you need to factor that in, because otherwise you're not going to have good data. But let's take a look at a book that probably didn't make nearly as much. So we have the book here, The Dark Souls. This is the first book in my superhero series. We have $8.22 is what it earned during the challenge. So The Dark Souls. All right. And we have $8.22. This book is in Kindle Unlimited. The challenge. And let's bring that up on our royalties dashboard as well. So we're going to deselect. I'm going to say Dark Souls, select. So I had earned nearly $20 in the month. So I earned, before this, I earned about $11. So I would have subtracted $11 from $19.55 in order to get that $8.22. So let's go here and find my acronym, or if you used a portfolio, TDS. And so we see that my spend, which is down there, and also lives up here was $11.94. So, ad spend during the challenge, $11.94. So we take our royalties number first, and we subtract $11.94 to get the loss of $3.72. During the challenge is negative, so I'm just going to put in parentheses $3.72. But there's some interesting things to consider during this. And this is just food for thought for now, but what if I added my book 2? Did I get any earnings from book 2 from the 13th on? I did. I got some earnings there, some earnings there, some earnings there. What if I add my book 3? I've got a little bit of earnings on the 17th there, and some earnings there, just 65 cents on the 15th. What if I add my 4th book? And so we'll go with Enemy Territory. We see some other earnings there. Now, if we added all those up, now this is not how read-through is calculated. This is just kind of a top-level estimate. But if we added all of those together, we would find, here, let's say, Telepath, I earned $9.59 during the challenge. $9.59. Candidate, I earned $4.21. And there's 7 books in this series, but I'm just looking at the next few. Enemy Territory, $5.07. This is why you need to look at the whole series. So we have 822. We're going to add these numbers together. Once again, this is not how read-through is calculated. This is just proving a point. And we add this. And we add this. Just in the first 4 books of the series, my earnings during the challenge were $27.09. $27.09 is higher than $11.94. This is how some authors make a lot of money. They advertise a book at a loss and then make back that money on the sales of the other books. Some of you, that's not news to. Some of you, that might be mind-blowing. So, as we look ahead in the rest of this video, into video 5, into the webinar, and after the challenge, one thing to consider is how much do I really need to advertise book 1 in order to make a profit, not just on book 1, but on the entire series of books. So what if I lost money during the challenge? Well, first, double check that you did everything the way I laid it out with those low bids. Every so often I see an author saying, I bid low, but my cost per click is 50 cents. Well, it can't be 50 cents if your bids were 30 or 35 cents, because Amazon will not bid it over. So you'll need to make sure your bids were actually low. You'll need to make sure you targeted the right genres, you targeted the right keywords. Then you want to evaluate how big of a loss it was. Losing a little bit of money might not prove anything because it's a very small window that you're looking at. Now, if you're in Kindle Unlimited, I talked to you about the sales rank potentially indicating future earnings. So you want to keep an eye on things over the next week. There's a lot of keeping an eye on things with Amazon ads. You'll notice that a lot of the comments I've made over the last week, including my Zen lemur of good Amazon ads come to those who wait, a lot of it is in the response to, what should I do? Is nothing while you wait for more data to come in. So if your book is the first in a series, as I just illustrated, the next few weeks could turn your ads profitable. So if it's a very small loss, but you have book 2, book 3, book 4, it's very possible that you will make that money back. It's not a guarantee. Nothing is a guarantee in life. If after all that you assess, yep, there's no chance that this is going to be profitable in the future, then what you want to do, you want to keep running ads, if you can afford it, to get to 100 clicks to assess your conversion rate, which is how many clicks it takes for you to get a sale or a full cover-to-cover read on Kindle Unlimited. We're going into that in depth in video number 5. What if I earned a small profit? First of all, congratulations. There are success stories out there where people talk about making a 900% return on investment and whatnot. And I like to cite a gentleman, Pierre-Alex Jonty, who talks about on his big posts on the 20 Books to 50K Facebook group, making, that tiny, minuscule 30, 40, 50% return on investment. Puts in $1, makes $1.50. Except he doesn't put in $1. He puts in $50,000. So he puts in $50,000 and gets back $75,000. So it's not always about a positive return being really high. Sometimes a little profit is the start of something big. The next step, if you earned a small profit, is to create more ads, especially keyword ads. And during Tuesday's webinar, we're going to get a lot into, well, what other keyword ads should I create? But that is the next step, even if you just earned a small profit. Creating 5 to 10 more ads per week is going to help you see if your small profit was chance, random, or a sign of things to come. Often, I will say we need more data to really know this for sure. And a lot of the time, someone shares a screenshot or something with me, but it's missing some of the data. I will say, I need to see more data. It's all about the data. And as in the case of a loss, even if you earned a small profit, the same factors apply. Check that you did everything right. If you're in Kindle Unlimited, see if your sales rank went up. Consider read-through to your future books, which could make the small profit bigger. Now, because it's helpful to have at least 3 months of data for conversion rate, I recommend continuing to keep track of clicks and sales and those KU full reads. I really recommend gathering more data. When the challenge is over, extend those end dates beyond April 30th. Put it in your calendar right now. What if I earned a big profit? And I know a big profit's going to be different for different people. If you had never earned $10 off your book and suddenly you had 12, that's a big profit. If you had 150 and you go up to 250, that could be a big profit for you. Now, if you're seeing way more royalties than usual, I would absolutely recommend diving straight in to creating more ads. Because if you are converting well, if your book is doing really well, then getting more ads into the system is going to be a good thing. Now, if royalties continue to grow and your profit margin, your ROI, your return on investment, your whatever, remains steady, then you're in wonderful shape. I just did an episode of the Sell More Book Show with my co-host, H. Claire Taylor, and we came up with a question of the week. We always have a question. And the question was, are you in a point where you want to improve your return, improve your profit margin, or scale up? Not both. Both, we said, wasn't allowed. Because if you are already at 40, 50, 60% return, then scaling up until you're the point where you're Pierre-Alex Jonty, who I mentioned, might be the better play than trying to improve your ROI. I have seen people change their titles, their covers, their blurbs, and they shouldn't have, because their return was actually already pretty good. They flew too close to the sun, a la Icarus, And really, they should have just tried to keep where they were, but keep flying and get more ads into the system. Now, you'll want to be on the lookout, BOLO, for other keyword sources. Also bots of yourself and other books in your genre, and targets to try for your book, maybe even other categories. Now, if you have any other series, any other standalones, and this one is going well, run ads to those too, just to see how well they do. So we're going to change, we'll show all that in a screen share, but we're going to go into copywriting a little bit. Cliffhangers. Cliffhangers, they get kind of a bad rap. People say, if you have a cliffhanger at the end of book 1, no one will go on to book 2. But in our blurbs and our ads, there's no reason we shouldn't use cliffhangers. We want to leave these potential readers wanting more. And at Best Page Forward, my author copywriting agency, we make sure the last sentences of really every paragraph, but certainly the last sentence of our description as a whole, ends with a powerful cliffhanger. It is the best way to get the reader invested in your book so that they know, the only way I'm going to find this out is by buying this or by borrowing it on Kindle Unlimited. In fact, a cliffhanger is going to make them, for KU purposes, want to read the book sooner. So you don't have the Ghost Borrow boosting your sales rank for that particular day and then not actually see the pages read for weeks or months. This is why we have cliffhangers. So the formula for cliffhanger: if the protagonist doesn't get what he wants, and don't worry, there's going to be a nonfiction thing in a sec, then this death, love, or enlightenment consequence can occur or will occur. For instance, here's a death one. If Katniss can't protect herself in a ruthless game watched by millions, she'll be the next teenager to die. Love. But when Harry and Sally realize friendship isn't an option, will they ignore the past for a shot at true love? Remember, we talked about stakes last time. In the death one, stakes are death. In the love one, stakes are they might not get together. Enlightenment. As the secrets crumble around Gatsby and his friends, will Carraway discover his own dark and painful truth? So, this is for literary fiction, memoirs, some young adult, where the thing at stake is enlightenment. Will he or she find enlightenment? If you're doing it for a memoir, you know the person isn't going to die at the end because they're writing the memoir. So you kind of need to go in a different direction. Will it change them forever? So, if the protagonist doesn't get what he wants, this bad consequence could happen. Now, as long as you start with what your characters want and you end with the highest possible stakes, you are going to be set. Now, here is a nonfiction alternative. There aren't nonfiction cliffhangers, but one essential part of nonfiction copy is the transformational benefit. So in the fiction ones, we talked about the negative possible consequence of the character not getting what they want. Here, we're talking about what is the positive consequence. And we're looking at these consequences from an emotional standpoint. So a book about losing 10 pounds, yes, on the surface, is going to help you lose 10 pounds. But what is the A to C jump? What is the next step after losing 10 pounds? So I call it the A to C jump. A to B, A, I want to lose 10 pounds. B, I lost 10 pounds. C, what can I do now that I lost 10 pounds? Example, learn how one simple dietary change can help you turn heads the next time you hit the beach. So you'll actually feel confident enough to go to the beach. That is the A to C jump there. So that can be used in your copywriting. So this is your assignment, you wonderful, wonderful nonfiction person, you. Not showing me the screen has left me hanging. Okay, well, let's jump back into the screen here. So first and foremost, we will see if I had this loss on the Dark Souls, I would probably go back in, look at some of my campaigns, right? And see. You can sort these, as we talked about in the previous video. You can sort these by clicks. You can sort them by ad spend. I might say, look at this. Look at this cost per click. Now, this is an experiment I was doing beyond the scope of the challenge, but I notice here, this is a 66-cent cost per click. Now, this one's already turned off, but that's higher than 30 or 35. So you might want to check, did I do anything wrong there? You can click into a campaign. And by the way, to change a campaign bid, you would go to targeting, and you would go with these bids. You could either change all of them at once by saying the adjust bid, or if there was one or two that was too high, you could go in and change them manually. But we would sometimes look at our categories. This is an old ad. You guys keep beating me up for showing these old ads that don't... This is from 2019, so it has more than one category. Jeez, Mom. Let me do what I want. And so we see here, oh, well, there's no tracked sales, but this is a KU book. But we see this one is getting the most spend, but it has the worst click-through rate. So maybe we would consider superhero science fiction is not getting a lot here. Maybe, but it's getting a good click-through rate compared to the others. Click-through rate, as you might recall, the percentage of clicks from the impressions. So you might say, oh, well, maybe I'll tweak this. Maybe I'll create a new ad that's just with this one, like Brian told me to. Future Brian telling past Brian. So you can go check through the targeting, the bids, the everything, and see what's going on in here. Why didn't these work? So those are some of the things you can check. If you got a profit, then hey, you're going to go and you're going to create some more ads. Here, just a reminder of where it is right there. If there are some of the extra credit homeworks that you did not do, for instance, the going for those top 100 lists, the new and noteworthy and the top 100 bestsellers, maybe it's worth looking there. So consider creating more ads through there. And if you got a big profit, go look at your other books, especially if they're in the same genre, and consider running ads to those too. Start back from the beginning, go back through the process of an auto ad and a keyword ad and a category ad, and try that. So let's go to the copy. I'll create a new document that's just copy. So let's break it down. Let's do another popular one. We'll go with, what is that one called? We'll just go with Harry Potter. All right. What does Harry want? To survive school, to learn magic, to fit in within this new society, etc., etc. So, those are some of the things he wants. But what is the possible consequence? Possible consequence: him not fitting in, him dying, him not being good at magic. I was going a little away from the mic there. Sorry about that. All right. So, if we were going to make a cliffhanger here, we would say something like, just as Harry starts to get the hang of his spells, a dark secret within Hogwarts might end his school year forever. So, that is one dark secret within Hogwarts might end his school year forever. Ooh, so that's one of the death ones. Obviously, the love one. Will they or won't they? The enlightenment. Will they find that special thing within them? For nonfiction, let's go with the transformational benefit. We'll go with my book, How to Write a Sizzling Synopsis. A sizzing synopsis. So, people learn how to write blurbs. What's a consequence of that? Earn higher royalties. So, learn how to write highly converting blurbs that increase your monthly book sales. So, easy as that. I know it's easy for me because I'm quick about this stuff, but learn how to do this thing so you can get this thing. It's not just about doing the thing the book talks about. It's about what really positive thing or really emotional thing will the author be able to accomplish, or the reader be able to accomplish afterwards. Just a reminder, with memoir or narrative nonfiction, you will be writing a fiction cliffhanger. So I hope you find that helpful. So this is a system that always works. I'm going to break this down for you so that you understand. First, you need to create ads to gather data. Even if you see that you're getting a loss, you need to still just keep punching away until you find out all the info that you can. Then you need to see which books profit with ads and which ones don't. In this challenge, you're just running to one book. So if you are trying to run ads on the first book in a series, you're going to see, did this one work? If you happen to have done the challenge before and you run on multiple books, you'll see which of the books seems to have the best chance of success. Then you keep running more ads on the ones that do profit. You double down on your most profitable book asset. Then, and this is where we go into in a big way in video number 5, then you edit and improve the sales pages of the books that don't profit. It is possible to turn a book that is not profitable into one that is profitable by improving the conversion rate. And that is, we have a whole video dedicated to it. Then you're going to get those books that aren't profitable to become profitable. And then you are going to keep running ads on the ones that are the most profitable. So you have your books that are profitable, and then you take the ones that aren't profitable, make them profitable, and then you run ads to everything that does seem to turn a profit. So, how can 3 months transform your author life? Well, let's say you run these ads for about 3 months on 3 different books. Once you understand the right stats to watch, you can see which book is worth advertising and which one isn't. Instead of splitting the difference on all 3 of the books, you put more ads, you put more focus, you put more analysis toward the most profitable book. Then all of a sudden, you've gone from break even to $100 a month in profit, or from $100 a month to $300, because you focused on the one that was going to get you the highest return. Now, your forward momentum then allows you to put more money into your ads to earn a reliable profit. So you get from that 0 to 100, then you can put more ads. You get from that 100 to the 300, you can put more ads. So you want to keep putting more ads into the most profitable books to earn that return. Now, numbers do not lie. It is one of my goals in life to get the author community past the stage where it's currently at, where we're guessing, We guess that our sales page isn't working, so we should change a cover. Or we feel like this ad just isn't as successful as it should be, so we stop running it. Or we run ads to a book that we shouldn't because we feel like it should be profitable. But it's not about guessing, and it's not about feeling. Your data is going to tell a story of what you should do next. Your data does that. You don't need to guess. You don't need to feel, because it tells you the whole picture. Now, I am so very excited because I'm seeing these realizations that you are having in the group, and it's amazing. And I am just so fired up to see how you use these numbers to level up your career. So here is the homework for video number 4. It is time to do the math. You're going to gather your royalties from the KDP Beta dashboard or from Book Report or whatever you use. You're going to gather your ad spend from the ad dashboard, and then you are going to calculate your profit. So you take your book's baseline that you collected on day 0 and subtract that from the number you see today. So that 208 minus the 107 or so gets to 100. So then you're going to figure out your ad spend for your book during the dates of the challenge. So when you started the videos, the 13th or so, all the way to today. Figure out how much you spent. Then you're going to see which number is bigger. Did you profit? And by how much? If you had a loss, you can share that as well. Let the gang know with a Facebook post in the challenge group with the title Video Number 4 Homework. Now remember, if I would have posted on my fiction book, it would have shown as a loss. I would have shown a loss on that. And so you should not feel nervous about posting a loss, because even I would have shown it myself. Then go give another author some kindness and generosity with your comment. So, video number 4, extra credit 1. Based on whether you earned a profit or a loss, I'd like you to write out what are your next steps for your book or your series. So just say, what are you going to do next? Of course, based on some of the info from today's video. Then if you had a loss, what do you think could be holding your book back from selling? So what is it that might be getting in the way? It doesn't mean you have enough data yet to make a change, but you can start to speculate a little what could be holding the book back. If you earned a profit, what is your new plan to consistently run more ads? I'd like you to share that, write those answers down, put them in a post at video number 4, EC1 in the group. And then, hey, give a virtual pat on the back to another author who has completed the very same assignment. Video number 4, extra credit 2. If you've earned a profit, then create 10 new ads. You can use a mix, keyword, category, and auto ads. Do it and take a screenshot. For those 10 ads, I'd like you to create some new cliffhanger copy based on the instructions in the video, what the character wants, and what is the consequence of them not getting it. Now, if you didn't have a profit, you can still create new ads, or you can take a look at the top 50 books in your category and assess how certain things that they're using to sell, like their titles, their covers, and their book descriptions, write down how those are different from your book, how those books are not the same as yours, which could mean, hey, maybe I need to market more like them. Then you're going to post the screenshot and your advertising copy or your findings in the Facebook group with a post called Video Number 4 EC2. Now remember, look, it is part of the assignment. Go comment on someone else's post. Scroll down until you see someone who hasn't gotten any love yet. Post a comment there. Even you can do even more than one, and that would be fine. So we have one free video remaining in addition to Tuesday's webinar. One free video remaining left in the Amazon Ad Profit Challenge. There's just one more day left, so you'll have free access to these videos and the Q&As in the Facebook group through Monday, April 27th. After that, you are going to have to be a part of Amazon Ad School to access the videos. And remember, we have our How to Scale Your Amazon Ads webinar tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to keep this content, I know it is really helpful to review videos like this several times to make those lessons stick. If you would like to get lifetime access to the challenge so that you can review them as many times as you want, so you can watch all the Q&As if you don't think you're going to have a chance before April 27th, and you want to participate in future premium challenges like the Series Success Challenge, then make sure to order your copy to enroll in Amazon Ad School before the cart closes on the end of the 27th. Now, during these challenges, a lot of people ask me, hey, can you run these ads for me? I don't really want to do it. It seems like it would be easier to do that. And I don't offer a service like that, but I know that there are people who do offer services like this, and it usually costs between $1,300 and $2,500 a month to get someone to run the Amazon ads for you. And that doesn't even include the ad cost. But you can learn how to do it yourself for just 3 payments of $125 or 1 payment of $297. And remember, you can add on a Best Page Forward book description written by my trained team of pros that I trained myself for just $25 additional a month. So those 3 additional payments of $25 or for $397 to get the ad course and the book description. So just go to sellingforauthors.com/April 20. There's a link in the post as well to join hundreds of fellow authors. So what is it that makes a book profitable? Why do some books earn a higher return than others? Is there a way to tweak an existing book to go from unprofitable to profitable, or at least slightly profitable to very profitable? Is there a way to do that? The answer is yes, and it's all about improving your conversion rate. So that's going to be the topic of our 5th and final challenge video coming out tomorrow, if you're watching this in real time. So I will see you during today's question and answer session, which is at 2 p.m. Eastern, and tomorrow's How to Scale Up Your Amazon Ads webinar at 3 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so much, and I will see you there.
I hope you enjoyed today's video and figured out some awesome profit numbers for your book. Go off and do the homework. Mark off your calendar for Tuesday's webinar at 3 p.m. Eastern. And if you are interested in Amazon Ad School, there are links in this post in order to get all of the materials from the challenge for life, in addition to all the other bonuses we will be giving out, and that offer expires on April 27th. So thanks again for watching. One more video coming tomorrow, followed by the webinar, and I hope you have a wonderful and profitable rest of your day.